Hi, my name is Val Walker. I'm the author of three books and a blogger for Psychology Today. And my latest book is about healing through awe and wonder. In fact, I call it Healing Through Wonder, How Awe Restores Us After Trauma and Loss. So I have a focus on exploring with people in my book and through our channel here, exploring stories of awe and wonder moments that took our breath away or that we just find it unforgettable, even if it's indescribable. And I want to throw out something really quick. I just finished submitting and being received by Psychology Today for my latest blog post. And you know what? I wrote about something of awe and wonder that I hadn't thought about in a long time because I was surprised.
Mm.
Now, awe can come through nature, through music, through the arts, through dreams, synchronicities, through travels, through people that we admire and experiences with other human beings in groups. And guess what? I couldn't help but write a whole piece about being here in Boston, close to Boston, and having all the World Cup fans visiting us. And they have transformed our city. And they're
Mhm.
transforming a lot of Americans who've been a little down in the dumps and sort of in survival mode. And we've had a lot of troubles, and a lot of people have been not too in the party spirit, shall we say. And these, especially the Tartan Army from Scotland, came to play. And I was around in Boston when they were here, and I didn't see the game at the stadium, of course, but I just want to share. They just gave me such a wonderful boost, and it's contagious. And I was in awe of how people from all around the world can come together and relax and open up and share all these fun things.
The picture that I saw of like 20,000 fans waiting patiently to get back on the train from Boston Stadium. And I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of people and no problems. Everyone is getting along. It was really awesome. So yes, hello, I am Robin from the Sun Will Rise Foundation. I provide peer grief support to people bereaved due to substance use related causes, and that's what our organization does. So we sit with people and talk and discuss, and so many times awe and wonder moments come up with people. So it's been really nice to investigate it here and have people that I've met through, the work that I do. I met Melissa, who was our guest this evening, through my shared work with SADOD, which is another organization that provides peer grief support to people bereaved due to substance use related causes. So Melissa told me a story one time, and I was like, oh, you need to talk to Val and myself on our podcast. So here she is. So Melissa, would you like to introduce yourself? And I know you do something else beyond Sato D2, your Radical Love. So you might want to say that as well.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I'm Melissa Lezynski, and I am a peer group support specialist with SADOD, and I am also the co-founder of Radical Love Resource Center here in Gloucester, Mass. And we provide services to unhoused individuals or underhoused individuals and people just struggling. And it's just always been a passion of mine. I came to this work after my son passed, but before that, I was a harm reductionist and a shelter manager for approximately 8 years. And I just absolutely love the work and the people and talk about awe and wonder. Oh, and being inspired. I was constantly inspired by the work that I did and the people that I encountered. And so yeah, when Sean passed, I decided I would just do it on my own. And me and a childhood friend got together. She's a addiction specialist nurse. And she said, why don't we just do it together? And at that point, I was like, sure, let's whatever. And we did it. And I don't know how we pulled it off, but we're here and it's working. And I am loving every minute of it. So,
Yeah, and helping so many people along the way. So it's beautiful to hear when you find out all the work that that radical love has been doing. It just touches so many people. So, and with a very little budget, like
Very little,
so
tiny.
many small nonprofits, but a good one. So if anyone wants to look it up, I'm sure you can find it through social media and on the websites. So,
And
Yes.
I'll put it
but
in our description. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I don't know what story you want to
Oh,
start with.
excuse me.
I know there was one with an owl that intrigued me
Oh,
too. You know, there's a bunch. So whatever you
there's so many. So I guess
Well, we're
that's,
sitting back.
yeah. So I guess I'll start from like, from right after Sean died, because this is kind of what started. It started before that. We've always both been pretty spiritual and into like reading signs and synchronicities and just noticing that stuff. Like he was pretty much the mirror image of me in that way. Like he was into all that stuff and he didn't care if he looked weird doing anything. So it was fine. But then after he died, I just all of a sudden it was like, I don't believe in anything, nothing, nothing at all anymore. Nothing is real. This can't be real. And it was like anything, it was just, I wasn't me anymore. And at one point, the first thing I think that happened was it was just a couple days after he died, and a friend called to check on me, and I was not in a good way. And and she said, "No, it must be so sad." I said, "I'm not sad, I'm mad." I said, "I can't find him anywhere." I said, "And I you know what, Sean? You have to be somewhere." I said, "I'm sick of not knowing where you are." And my kitchen door flew open and smashed into the wall so hard I jumped 50 feet. And it was dead quiet. There was no wind. There was no reason for that door to, I mean, it just went flying open, hit the counter, scared me half to death. And it dawned on me that like he was there. I couldn't see him, but he was right there. And I was like, oh, well, that was loud and unexpected and totally needed. And and then the next and again, they don't stay with you in those things don't stay with you as long as they normally would in those first months. And one day I had a new griever that I had to call. And I wasn't in a great headspace. And I wanted to make sure I kind of centered myself and got in a headspace. And I was just sitting in my living room alone. And I'm thinking, I don't know. I said, I don't know if anything I used to believe is real anymore. And of course, I'm talking to myself. And I heard him as though he was literally right here in my ear. And he said, Mom, it's all real and it's more beautiful than you can imagine. I promise. And I was like, what? And then I smelled him for just a second. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And I tried to get myself together once again. They're like, okay, I have to make this phone call. And I found this yellow elastic and I had been playing with it, like just fiddling with it. And it was a really pretty yellow, which I always hated. But just before Sean died, I started being really like into the color yellow. I would see yellow butterflies, yellow flowers, the yellow trees, the magnolia trees. I'm like, oh, I didn't know they came in yellow. I need that. Like everything yellow I was attracted to. Had no idea why, but it was very new. I used to hate that color. And so I finally make this phone call. And the woman, I let her speak for, I don't know, she went on about her loss for about 40 minutes. And she took a real deep breath and she says, "Ooh, okay, we have to switch topics here." And I'm like, sure, we can talk about anything you want. She goes, no, no, I mean, we have to switch focus. Like, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, okay, now I've never met this woman a day in my life. I had no, she was just a name in a person that was grieving to me. I didn't know anything about her. And I said, sure, okay, what would you like to know? A little bit nervous for that answer. She goes, no, I have to tell you something. I says, okay, sure, go ahead. And she says, well, first of all, I'm a medium and I should have started with that when you called me. And I said, well, okay, that's okay. I still had no idea what she was getting at. She said, and somebody's standing here and he will not be ignored. And I said, oh, okay. And my heart starts racing. I'm like, is she talking about Sean? And she said, I don't know his name. I don't know what it means to you. And literally, he only wants me to tell you one thing. And I said, okay, what's that? And now I'm like kind of rolling my eyes. And she says, yellow. I said, what? She said yellow. I don't know what it means. I don't know why, but he just said yellow and is laughing uncontrollably. And I looked down and that yellow elastic is tied around my finger.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God. So that was literally just him letting me know one more time, like, I just told you it's real. Like, you needed this too. And so yeah, that was a wild 24 hours. And I rode that high for a while.
Hmm.
But there's been so many of those times that and you'd think we'd get tired of it or it would lose its magic, but it never does because it's always just so magical. And like for instance, after he died in August, and then I went to my youngest daughter and her boyfriend's house for Christmas Eve. Um, they have a parade that comes through at like 6 o'clock at night because it's always pitch black here and on Christmas Eve. And we were watching the parade, and her boyfriend has a young son, so we were all just trying to be normal, but it was heartbreaking. And so I go to leave there that night. Now it's pitch black, and I'm driving along, and I see something falling from the sky, but it doesn't make sense to me yet. Like it's very dark, very, very dark. So I'm going very slow. And I'm like, what is coming out of the sky at me? Because it looked like it was coming right at me. And I put my brakes on. I started to stop, and an owl literally swooped down right at my windshield, so close to me I could see him. And then he just went right up to the pole and sat there. And I'm stopped in the middle of the road, and I'm looking at this owl. I'm like, oh my God, what? And he wasn't the first time I saw an owl in that time period, but this one was like, I will not be ignored. And it was pitch black. How I saw him is beyond me.
Wow.
If I didn't, I would have hit him or he would have hit me. I'm not sure what would have happened, but it wouldn't have been pretty. And it was just the most beautiful, magical thing I had seen. And I just knew I wasn't alone at that moment. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I mean, and it was just, it's always been that way. Like in life, you notice those things. But when you lose a child in something, we fall apart. We change drastically. Everything about us changes. And spirituality, faith, all those things
Mhm.
they either get real, real strong for some people and they fall apart for others. For me, it was just destitute afterwards. I was like, nope, nothing's here. And which is a very odd place for me to go. And yet every time I turned around, it was something else. The first 3 months after he died, I had sat in a like a hammock swing chair type thing in my office. I had a sunroom that had an office in it. And I was out of work and I was just sitting there swinging and smoking a pack of cigarettes after another. And I just like, I'm going to die if I don't get up. But I didn't want to. But after 3 months, I'm like, okay, it's been 3 months. You have to move. Like, put this chair outside, do something with it. And I had said to Sean the night before, I'm like, okay, son, I need a real sign, not these rinky dink little dragonflies that are all over the yard, not these pretty little butterflies that are in yellow. Like, I want a sign that's freaking huge and undeniably, I will know it's from you. Like, I want that. How about that? Because I've been asking him, like, come to me in a dream, show me how lovely you're doing. Like, just smile at me like other dead people have done. I wanted that. And I wasn't getting that. So I'm like, and I don't want it to be something simple. The feathers are great, love those. The owls are great, love those. But like, I want something that is undeniably you. Like, I won't be able to deny it. And I put it out of my head because I really didn't expect too much. And that next day, I was taking that chair apart. I'm like, I'm putting this outside. I can't do it anymore. And I had a little brick patio. And I took the chair apart to get it through the doorway. I put it together outside on that brick patio. And then I was adjusting it like just making sure it wasn't, going to fall apart when you sat in it. And I was kind of shaking it and I looked down and I have a picture of it still. The biggest, ginormous, dead dragonfly I've ever seen. It was bigger than my hand and it was dead.
Hmm.
And that is so shocked. But the worst part, well, the best part, my landlady saw me staring at this dragonfly on the ground in awe and kind of chuckling. I was kind of laughing a little bit and, of course, tearing up too and crying a little bit. And she comes over. She said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Well, yeah." Yeah, I guess I am. I had asked Sean for a sign. I told her what I had said. I said, and look what I came out here to find. And she's like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like it. And she tried to pick it up and the head fell off.
Oh, jeez.
She was mortified. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I mean, she was horrified. I could not stop laughing because that is definitely something Sean would do. It's like, okay, the dead dragonfly was enough. How about this? Now he's going to be a headless dead dragon, which would definitely be something that my kid would do. And I think, that was like, okay, all right, these are real. These are him. There is absolutely no doubt about it. There's just no denying it. I mean, the dragonfly, I've never seen one that big in my entire life. I've never seen one with those colors. And I certainly have not seen one dead on my patio like that and then have it had its head fall off. Oh, dragonflies' heads are tiny. This one was the size of a quarter. You could not miss it. It was like no accidental thing. This thing was huge. So I took a picture of it while my landlady tried to hold the head in the same spot.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
there's so many of those things. And honestly, like right when you need them the most,
Right,
truly,
right.
truly. Recently, my bosses lost their son, and randomly she called me late the other night and said, "Can I come see you tomorrow? Just for a minute. I won't be long." And I'm like, "Sure." And I had big plans, but for some reason, I'm like, "No, I can rearrange those plans somehow." And I just feel like I need to be here. So I was like, "Sure, absolutely." And she came down. She wound up spending a good 6 hours here or more. And when she left, I'm like, okay, I hope that was enough just to get her to the next step.
Mhm.
Sure enough, within the hour, the sky got black. We got this random 2-second tornado watch and the most beautiful double rainbow over the water that she insisted she come to see.
Mm-mm.
And a double rainbow.
Double. And I tried to send her the pictures.
Mm.
They just keep saying undeliverable.
Mm. Wow.
I'm like, okay, when she's supposed to get them, she will.
Mm.
That'll carry her to the next spot, the
Yeah.
next place she needs to get to.
Yeah.
But that's how it works, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know? Yeah.
I think that's so helpful when you have these little moments that push you along, especially when you think you can't go on, I can't do it, right? And then you get these signs, symbols, nature screaming at you, whatever it is. Um,
Hmm.
and whether anybody else takes it as something, it's what brings you that moment, what it means to you. And I could just, also being a grieving mom, like I could just know how that makes you feel. Like that just is, oh, okay, we can go another day. We'll go another day. That's how I felt about a lot of the different things that had happened. So I'm glad those things happened to you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is like that too, that just one more day, we have to get to one more day.
And you're open to different ways to having awe experiences. And I just want to put it out there too that whether or not we're sure or we're only looking from signs from the other side of loved ones we've lost, I have kind of taken it and widened it for me to live, to embrace that even if I don't know who or if it is that loved one, I find that what I'm trying to do with my awe experiences is open to mystery more and not have to have everything figured out and outlined. Oh, that must be her. That must be him. That must be my son or my grandmother. Or so I think sometimes that's reassuring, but I think to continue to have these experiences, it's good to widen it and say, you never, it could be all kinds of ways awe is coming to you. And what I'm really hoping for, and I'm speaking from my truth, is that it gives us a way to love life more, to be present
Yes.
in life, in the real beautiful, vibrant life. And if that's opening us to stay connected to that,
Right.
whatever, whether you call them folks from the afterlife or what it is, awe and wonder is just healing for grief. So I hope you didn't mind me getting on that. It's like, it's not, it's good in a way not to be too attached.
No, I'm so glad you said that because very recently, I mean, I've lost so many people before Sean ever did, and then of course your kid rocks your world, and it's like okay, and but the other day, I I I was reminded of somebody else, and I'm like, oh, and I was finally open, like I could feel that, oh, maybe that was Bill, and it had nothing, like it wasn't Sean, that was definitely, Bill and Mike, throwing a pile of dandelions at me randomly. Like it was just
Oh,
so like it
yes.
took me time to get there because with other people, sure, and just in general, like looking at the magic in the world and not taking things for granted and like spending the time seeing the beauty that's out here in front of us every day. Like I was always somebody who would do that in general. But
Ah,
then of course Sean dies and I'm like, nothing matters, nothing has meaning, end of story.
mm,
But we go on and we go on because there are other people in this world with us that we love, and there are things that we like, we're here for a reason, whatever that may be. Like I'm still here, we wake up still breathing, even if it shocks us every single day. We're like, okay, it's another day. I have to make the most of it. Like there's got to be something. So it's funny you said that because I just was like, oh, it doesn't always have to be Sean anymore. Like Sean doesn't have to be the reason for everything that brings me joy now.
Mm,
I can start letting other things.
mm.
and one doesn't replace another thing. It's you can
No,
have both. You can have both and,
all of
and
it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's an
I
awesome compliment.
I did an email the other day and I talked about borrowed hope. Sometimes people have to borrow hope from a griever or
Borrow.
somebody,
Yeah.
right? But then I was thinking about before we came on today, I'm like, there's a such thing too as borrowed wonder, right? That you
Huh.
can tell somebody, like you might not be able to see this sunrise as something that is powerful and magical to you, but I believe it at some point you'll get there. You'll get there because other people can see it. And even though you're in a dark place right now, right? That might bring you joy. That might bring you hope at some point. Like borrow my wonder when I'm walking around talking like, oh my God, did you see
You're
this?
right.
I say to my husband, I'm like, look at that forsythia bush. Just look at it.
Look at
Like, no, like really look at it. And he's like, okay, okay,
it.
okay. But like I feel like I'm like, do you take a minute?
Mm.
It just is not just a regular thing. That's amazing. That bush is just burning bright. It's just calling to you to say, wow, look at that thing. So borrowed wonder is something that I've been like
Oh, I love
thinking
it.
about today. And I
Love
think
that
it's kind
thought.
of
Wow.
like let's get it catchy to other people.
And that's
Right?
why we
Yeah.
share our stories because it will be contagious, but it's also we're passing it around, and borrowing it and using and taking and moving. Yeah, I really.
It's so important. I hear so many times, like from people that, are just calling, talking to us for the first time, and they will, by the end of the conversation, share something. Well, I mean, I don't know if you believe in this or not, but I know that, that was my grandmother in that cardinal, or that was and so just knowing that we're always open to that, you're right. It is like giving them people permission to also not only borrow ours, but share theirs and lend
Yeah,
it to others. And like yeah, but I think that's the way the world's going to end up anyway. I think we're all coming to a place where what's important to each other is each other.
Mhm.
Nothing else matters. I mean, certainly nobody's ever going to have enough money to, take it with them when they die,
Mhm.
but we'll have each other. Like we have people, like people is all that matters. Like the human experience is what we're here for,
Mhm.
I think, anyway. But again, that's just my opinion. I can't help myself.
I love your opinion. You're
Mhm.
in the right
Thank you.
place to tell it. So. Anything, Robyn, do you have any wonder moments happened recently to share with everybody?
It's not a wonder moment, but I wanted to ask and see if either one have ever heard of it. It's called the overview effect from astronauts. They've done some research about astronauts that have gone up, way up there, and are able to look down on the Earth. And it's a psychological and cognitive shift that they get, that you get from awareness, from being out of space, and that it changes them. It's this awe and wonder
Oh,
that
yeah.
changes it from like the earth is a fragile place that I need to take care of, that there isn't politics, that we are all the same, right? And I read this whole article about it. And I was like, well, there's only probably very few people that will ever have the overview effect, but they're trying to do some research to make a virtual reality that will give us the same feeling, not just like looking at space, but something that they can do to give that to us for what they feel once they've looked back at space.
How
I mean,
beautiful.
back
What?
at Earth from space. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's
Thank
amazing.
That is. And I'm just so glad you told us about this because there's always new ways to see the world. And it's just so exciting. It never comes to an end. We're always going to find new ways to see space, the oceans, our spirits, you know, there's so much in there. And what you just said, you see, even though I'm a little nervous about technology, but I do
Yeah.
still have faith that if we keep our humanity as the priority and our earth as part of it all in a big, big way, I'm hoping that our sense of awe and wonder, dare I use the word reverence for the preciousness and gratitude and humility. These are the things that awe and wonder moments supposedly do to us according to neuroscience. So I'm hoping that having these awe moments that we're sharing will keep us from letting technology completely control us, and we're going to be able to keep it in check, in the good ways, like what you're saying, Robyn, like using it for creating new ways of seeing
Mhm.
ourselves in space and in the bigger,
Right.
wider universe,
Yeah, and they think it might be a way to help humanity a little bit,
Yeah.
right? And we're
especially.
not these little, small, little, silos of humanity pitted against each other. We're on this thing and
Right.
we've got to work together and love each other to keep this
Right.
thing going, right? That's huge.
So
Yeah.
that's crazy because I have had this feeling for so long that yes, everything looks awful if you just look at it the way it is. But I keep finding these pockets of humanity that are just growing and growing and growing more often. And when you said that, I'm like, oh, maybe that's it. Maybe we don't have to fear the technology that is coming that's going to be so much more because it's going to be able to give us a different perspective and
Mm,
we'll know that taking care of each other is really what we're here for.
right. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we solved it. Maybe we just solved that all. Here we go.
Maybe that's more hope for
But the
me
wonder
for sure.
chasers, the
Mm,
wonder
The
chasers
Wonder
like you,
Chasers.
Robyn, and wonder chasers like you, Melissa, the wonder welcomers, those who keep having these experiences, I think it really helps others. And I think it also really helps us heal from so much in our lives. And I just want to thank you all. We're going to need to come to a close soon. But I just think what you told me, Melissa, you remind me how there's so many different ways. And it seems like it's almost like little ripples of things when you describe it. It's not like just one big awe experience. We think we have to have that, but you're showing me how there's so many little ways and they all kind of flow and there's something bigger going on.
mm,
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you described it so well.
And we don't have to do anything but keep being ourselves and keep following our own paths to get there, I think.
mm.
Yeah.
There's enough love. Always was.
Yeah. Keep
Yeah.
up the good work, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much
much
for
for having
coming.
me.
I've
Yeah.
really enjoyed hearing it. Robyn, you want to say any final?
No, I've heard a few of those stories before, and they just, the one with the door, like that just, it gets me in my soul, like, oh, that was what you needed at that moment. So I think if people just take what they need from experiences that they have every day, it just helps us keep going and keep healing. And that's what, this is all about, is healing, healing through wonder.
I love
Thank
it.
you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Goodbye, everybody. Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you.